This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Hope you guys can hear me clearly. Okay, so let's start the class today and welcome to day 11. We are in the middle of SAP HANA modeling. Yesterday we have seen analytical views, attribute views, and we have discussed about different methods how we create tables in SAP HANA development. So after that, today we'll continue the same with SAP HANA modeling. So we'll cover up the remaining topics in our syllabus if you have a look at this. So far we have seen given the introduction, we have seen a couple of examples on both these analytical and attribute views, and today we'll cover up this entire part. Okay. So basically, the first 3 points will be quick thing. No need to worry. These are things that can be done initially. So in the first session, I'll cover up these first 3 parts and also calculation view. So once we are done with it, we'll move ahead with the calculation view with the table function, and also we'll see one example with the rank node in calculation view. So I'll start with the calculated columns and modeling. Okay, so yesterday we have seen this example, right, on analytical view. So whatever the examples, the topics which I'm going to discuss, they will come under these folders: calculated columns, restricted columns, and input parameters. So what exactly are these? So these are something that we can leverage to have our own customized columns along with the columns which are currently present in this model. So let's assume that I would like to add some of the columns. So we have seen, right, in a select query, whenever we are writing, we can have some calculated columns on the go in the query itself, where we can add extra column when we are discussing SQL clauses topics. We have seen some examples where we can add our own columns. Okay, similarly here also we can add our own columns here. So this is where, suppose I would like to add one more column to calculate the how I'd like to present, like I would like to see what if my sales are up 1%, 10%. Okay, just like a sales prediction, they would like to see also. So they know that these many sales they have done for net amount. So if you see, they have done these many sales. Okay, they would like to see what will be my net amount for each sales order if I get a 10% extra sales on this. Just a prediction they would like to see along with the next column. Okay, so this example we'll see, and this will be used. This we will use the concept calculated columns here. Okay, so I will name my column as sales prediction 10%. Okay, so basically whatever the example that I'm saying, we can also do in the calculation view. But in the calculation view, I'm going to show a little complex examples where I don't want to mess up with these examples. So in analytical view itself, I will show those examples. So it will be very easier to understand for us. Okay. First, we'll see the calculated columns. So what is my requirement scenario? I would like to see another column here with the sales prediction column, which will show me what if my sales went increase for 10% here. Okay, so I need to add that column here. So how do I add? So we'll see here. So on the calculated column, you can just right click here, new calculated column. You can add this. Okay, so it will load up. Basically, this pop-up, whatever the pop-up which I am going to get for calculated columns, it will ask me for the column name and also what we would like to calculate on that particular column, right? So right now, this is my Like box where I would like to name my column names. The new column I will mention is a sales prediction up to 10%, right? It cannot contain special characters. I'll keep it as 10%. Okay, sales prediction I will keep it as, okay, sales prediction 10%. This is my label. So we have, once we define the column name, we also need to mention how much, what is the data type going to be for my column. So since my NetWeaver, what is the net sales will be integer column, so integer data type, I will take the same data type here. Okay, column type will be an attribute. Yesterday we have discussed what is an attribute and a measure. An attribute will just give you a description about the particular column. It will not contain any numerical values or anything, which will give you a brief descriptive analysis, whereas measure is quantifiable measure. So it will give you the quantifiable measure, like if like net price, sales orders, so number of sales done. These are all measures. Like it will give us the analysis. So based on that we can do analysis, tangible analysis, by to make effective decisions. Okay, these are the attribute and measures. So since my I'm doing a calculated one, which is a number value, which will have the, I will choose it as a measure. Okay, let me expand this. You can see there are in the bottom pan we have three sections, where in this section, element section, we'll see whatever the folder which we have in the my attribute, my analytical view. So these are all the columns that I am being using. So based on these columns I can do something here. You can also see functions here. We can use those functions while calculating something. These are all some buttons we can just do like this to when we are doing a mathematical expressions. Okay, so what is my requirement? I would like to make this column as, so from NetWeaver we have the NetWeaver value, and that means net amount. For that net amount I would like to see 10% extra. What will be the value if I increase by 10%? Okay, so first I need to take that net amount here. Okay, for this net amount I need to add 10% so that I will get the 10% extra here. So what I will do, I'll click on press here, plus icon here, plus button, so that I am going to add the net amount. Okay, so how would like to do that? I'll give like this. For this net amount would like to add 10%. Okay, I will multiply this by 0.1. Okay, so that for my net amount I'm adding 10% of the sales which is already done for this amount, so that my new column will have the 10% increase column with the values. Clear, right, how I'm doing this? Actually here I get the column information. For this column I'm adding the net amount, the same column, whatever the values it will come in the runtime, I'm adding that into 10% so that I'll get the amount. Any doubts here?
No, Nagendra. So cool.
Yeah, okay. Let me move. So I'll click on OK so that this will be calculated during runtime. So I'll click on OK.
Nagendra, what is this calculate before aggression? What does that do?
Which one? Just a second. Let me open that. Got stuck. Just a second. So which one you're asking?
Checkbox calculate before aggregation. Sorry.
Aggregation. This I
What
haven't
does
tried
this do?
before. Yeah, I haven't tried this before, honestly. Maybe this calculate
Okay.
before aggregation is when we are doing aggregation. If you want, suppose I'm doing a sum, right? We want to perform some
Uh,
action on that column, right? Maybe
uh,
for that
okay.
we can specify some formula.
Okay.
So we'll see the important examples that we actually use in real scenarios. Okay. This is something we have
Mhm.
done where we have to show the prediction of that particular sales order.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So I will activate this once I have created a sales prediction. So team activate. I think it is successful. So we'll see the data preview here. So let me go to the raw data. So let's check if my column is there. Okay. So this is my sales prediction column. So where I can see for this 23,000, if my calculation, my net amount went up 10%, I can see the value for this particular columns during the runtime. Okay. So what is my another scenario is, so when we are this is one of the real scenarios also. We have exported this view to what you call Fiori app. So by consuming it in a app scenario that, but they would like to have a column. So if you look at this sales sorry material description, we have a material here and also description somewhere around here, right? Description this. So in UI they don't want to have these two columns separately. Okay, they just want to display in the same column. So for this we have to combine these two columns. So we have to add a calculated column where we will concatenate these two and we'll show it in. So they wanted this in a uppercase. So material forward slash or any separator, and they would like to see the description in uppercase. So for that we can also do that. So how we can do is similarly how we have added the calculated column, we need to add another calculated column, so which will contain my material description, material plus description. So I'll name it as material description, material and not allowing, okay, description. So this will be a varchar which will contain 60 characters. Okay, this is an attribute because we are specifying, we are just, it is giving a descriptive details of that particular column. So I'll make it as attribute. Okay, so what I have to do is, so for my column, so for material, okay, whatever the material that I am getting here, let's take from the attribute view. For this material, I would like to concatenate with my description. Concatenate. So in strings, we'll use plus symbol to concatenate. So I'll concatenate this with the description. One more thing is they wanted to show this in a uppercase also. So in this case, we have this block, right, where we will have the functions available, so which can be used for this particular expression. So I will check if I have any function available for this in the strings. So I'll go down, lower pad or trim. So yes, I found this is a function we can use to make the description in uppercase. All we have to do is just drag and drop here. Okay, so it is expecting a string argument. So for this we need to pass a string argument, right? So I'll delete this. I just need to drag and drop my column name here. So during the runtime, my material description along with description material along with description will come. So I would like to add a separator also for this. What I will do, I simply say like this, and I will add plus. I think this is not accepted here. Let me try this way if you will get it, or else we will remove this. So this is how they would like to see. So my material will come along with the description, not in a separate column, not in a, it will come in a same column. So I'll make it as, so this is how my expression will be. I'll click on OK. I'll save it. I'll, as usual, I'll activate this. Calculated measure sales production is calculated after addition, but an additional calculation has been. This could be a late to unexpected results for CEO. Okay, this is a warning we can ignore. So it is activated successfully, and let me check the preview. Let's check if that operator, the separator which I specified, will it come here or we have to remove. Okay, we'll go way here. Okay, I can see here. So this is my calculated column, material description. My material along with the description, which is in uppercase. So I have separated this by with separator /. So if you can see, this is my description, which is I have build material 3, which is coming in uppercase for this material 002. This is how they can directly map this column in the UI, and they can see the description along with the material. Okay, so this is about calculated columns. So far we are good. So we can do something based on other columns, so that we can um, perform different operations by adding new columns. What about restricted columns, right? So restricted column somewhat is similar, but let's imagine a scenario. There is something which we can do in calculated columns. So if you see our results here, so these are all the sales and the items which are made for these dates. Okay, so there is a scenario. Customer wants to see another column, so he wants to just check in the previous year sales also. So what are the previous sales that had happened with the current sales also. Okay, so I would like to add another column. He just want to see what are the what are the sales that are done in previous years also. Okay, for that also, this is my sales data, so net amount data. So you just want to see how much I have made for the previous year. So if I add a new column for this 2017, I should see this 23,017. For the three columns I should be able to see. Okay, before 2019, if you would like to see the previous year's data, net amount value for each row. So for that we have to go for restricted columns. So I'll go here, right click on new. Okay, I'll give it as a previous year sale. What is my previous year, which is 2019, where I would like to see this. Okay, previous year sales 2018. So in my column, the net value will only come for that rows only. Okay, so I have to mention for which column I want to do that. It will be a net amount. For net amount, so for this net amount should appear only particular this expression. Okay, for that I need to do this. So we have to switch to expression where we can write our logic here. So what is my logic here is for the date, whatever date I am getting. Okay, for this date, or this one, I will take from the columns which are already displaying. So on date. Okay, my date should be less than the current year and also greater than the previous before year, which is 2017, right? So first I would like, so it should be between 2017 and 2019. I have 2018. I mean 2017, between 2017 and 2018 we have 2018. So where we have to show that values between 19 and 17. Okay, I'll mention it as, so I'll make it as greater than, what is the year? So it should be greater than 2017, 12, 12, 12, and I can mention like this: for this date, okay, should be less than the current year. I'll specify the less than symbol. We'll make it as 2019-01-01. Okay, so they should be greater than 2017 year, and also it should be less than the 2019. So I'll get the 2019 dates. So for 2018 date, sorry. Okay, this is my expression. Hope you guys clear. Okay, so I click on OK. Let's check the results. I'll close the previous one. Let me activate this. Warning you can ignore. So it is successfully completed. Let me show the data preview. So okay, so this is the previous year sales. Okay, this is my previous year. So wherever the condition satisfy, for that only it will show the net amount. So let me check with this. So these are all the sales which you have done, like 2019-17, right? We have only one sale that are done in 2018. Okay, for this only my column is appearing here. This is how you can put conditions on calculated columns also using this restricted columns. Okay, this is my example. Okay, we have calculated columns and also restricted columns. This is how you can perform your actions. Now we'll move to restricted input parameters. Any questions so far? Okay.
Again, one second. Restricted columns does not it mean you will be filtering the values based on the condition what we have given. I mean, not the specific column wherein all the columns as well. I mean, where we can see the data is coming in all the columns, and
Yes.
the column what we have created is only restricted. So, I mean, I don't
Yes.
see any value for this particular function, because if you have used calculated columns as well, it would have done the same functionality, same thing.
Sorry, I'm not. I mean, you mean to say calculated columns also we can do the same thing?
If we would have done that in calculated columns, what would have been? I mean, it would be the same, right? Or I'm not sure how it had restricted the values.
So let me go to this.
Restricted means, I mean, how it is in the in the normal scenario. Does this actually mean or required in normal scenarios, life scenarios, that we have to
Yes.
restrict?
So if
Actually, we are
you
restricting.
observe, yeah, if
We
you
are
observe
creating a
this,
row, yeah, we are creating a column and defined filtered values to be given it to someone based on the calculation what we have done. That's
yeah,
it.
this is just to have a clear separation, but restricted and normal
Hmm.
calculated columns. So restriction is something you'd like to show some specific values only, right, for that particular rows. Whereas
Hmm.
calculated columns, you would like to have that value, but you want to do something there.
Hmm. I
Right?
was
So this
thinking
is
that
a
if this 23,000, so that whole data, whole table should have with respect to this 23,000, not the other data should come. I was thinking
yes.
in that line that it should be like what it has done in a particular column itself. Okay. Mhm. All right. No
Okay.
worries.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now we are done with calculated columns and restricted columns. So what we will do is we'll see about input parameters. So input parameters are something right now our view is executing without from accepting any user inputs, right? So we're just displaying plain. So there is a scenario. So when we are giving this view to a BW consultant or any UIFI consultant, user actually gives some input parameters. Okay, and based on some material or by all or created by someone, I would like to put some condition. I mean input parameters for that. So what I will give an example is like, suppose I would like to see the sales done by a particular person. Okay, so this is my created by column. So for this we can do an input parameter. So first what we need to do is, when you go here, first we need to create an input parameters. Okay, so I'll right click on here, so I'll click on new. So I'll mention this as input parameter or salesman. Okay, I'll give this name. It will be a direct input so that user will enter. Okay, so we can have the data type for that. So what is the data type that you are going to give for that? So I will check. So semantic types, if it is any currency related stuff, unit of measure, we'll use this. But right now in our example, we are just passing the created by name. So we're expecting a varchar which will contain the length 30 characters. Okay, so you can make it as a mandatory if you want, right here. Okay, so this is my input which has to accept from the user. So this is, I have created the input parameter. Okay, let me click on OK. So my input parameter will come here. So it is actually independently presenting here as elsewhere. It is not mapped to any variable in my particular table. Okay, so for that we need to do a input mapping here. So before that, let me go back to my view, which is material sales order. So I have already created. Let me remove the filter. Okay, so we can also add filters here. Usually when we go for input parameters, we already have this filter, right? This filter will actually have a constant value. Suppose if I apply a filter here,
This conference will now be recorded.
so before I go to input parameters, let me check, show you the option called filter. So which will, we can apply filter on particular field here. Okay, so I'll make it as equal. If you can specify also different expression here, operator. Okay, so I'll mention as, so I have a user called system who has created the sales order, so I'll specify this. Okay, okay, so let me activate this.
Nagendra, unable to see the screen.
Sorry. Now you can see, right? Okay. So before we discuss input parameters, we will talk about apply filter also. So apply filter is something we can put some where condition on a particular column. So by specifying the actual value here. Okay. So we can have operators, different operators we have here. So I can specify the value. So I will say we have a user called system who has created the sales orders. For that user only I would like to see. So I will mention the filter here. Okay. So if I activate this, now I will check the data preview. Not yet activated. Do we have that created by column here? System is very slow, sorry. So my filter is there. I have given the value called. I can right click here. I can edit filter. I'll check if I give the right value. System equals. Okay. Let me execute only this one. Okay. Still I'm getting the values. Okay. Something wrong. Let me remove the filter again. Let me activate. Completed successfully. So I'll add filter here created by apply filter equal to system. To it. So we can also check the data for individual node also by right clicking here and click on data preview. Somehow my filter is not applying here. Okay. Let me give a last try or else we'll see the input parameter. I will let you know what went wrong. Okay. It's not working. So I will try to find out. I will let you know. So basically when we are creating an input parameter, right? So we'll create an input parameter which needs to be mapped to a particular parameter in our view. Okay, so if I create a input parameter, I have to specify the name of that parameter. Right now I'll mention it as material type, mat type, material type, which is a directory, and I'll specify what is the character type is this, and the length, I'll give it as 4. Okay. This is how you create input parameter, make it as okay. So I need to map this input parameter to my particular column in the view, so that that view will accept the material type here. Okay, we have material type here. Now a column, let me do this. I will map this to existing one which is in our data foundation. Take it as a material. I'll apply the filter here. There's already a filter, I think, here. Yes. Let me remove this. Save it. Right click. Apply filter. Okay. So once you see this here, okay, for this material, I would like to map to my material. Okay, material type input parameter, I would like to map to my material. So these are all the values which are there for that material. So when you specify it, if it is a fixed, you have to enter normally. It will ask. But you have input parameters, you have to specify that this is an input parameter. Here it will show what is the parameter which I have created. Okay, so I need to select this one so that my input parameter will be mapped to this material. Okay, let's specify this. You can see the placeholder has been placed for material type. The input parameter which I have created is directly linked to my material right now. Okay, I'll say if it will execute this and I'll activate this. Okay, ignore the warning. Now let me check the data preview. Let me check if it is activated. Yes. Go to data preview. Okay. So since I have a what you call material type as a input parameter, so there will be a pop-up will come for me to enter a particular value. Okay. So right now there is no values present. So we have to give the value as it is. So suppose if you check here, let me cancel this again. We have different materials here, right? So we'll take one material called 002. I would have to fetch only that particular material. So when I execute this, so I have 002. I'll filter that out. Zero, 02. So for that material only, I'll be able to see the result. This is how we can create input parameters on top of our views. So when this view has been used by any other client like UFI or Fiori or BO consultant or BA consultant, they will ask the user for the input. So the input will be passed to our calculation view, and this calculation will take care of sending the result back to the particular client. Okay. So this is about input parameters. So restricted columns, input parameters we have, and also calculated columns. These are the options that we have in analytical view. At the same time, we can do the same thing for calculation views also, which we are going to discuss. So we have covered these three, and let me go back to calculation view. Okay. So in this calculation view, the example that I'm going to discuss will be, let me show you the simple example on that. How what kind of a calculation we are going to create. Okay, let me close remaining things. So I have already a calculation view which we have created for this class. I'll just show it. We'll also create that for your idea how we are going to create. I'll just give a brief introduction. Okay, this is a calculation which we are going to create. So basically, don't get confused with too many nodes here. So this is very easy. So this is the amalgamation of a calculated view, sorry, analytical views and attribute view along with the different options. So SAP has already recommended that do not go for attribute view or analytical view. Even if you're putting it on a resume or somewhere, do not say that we have worked on attribute view or analytical view. Those are already deprecated. So how do we create a calculation view? Then how do we how will we take the advantage of attribute view and analytical view? So when we are creating a calculation view itself, we'll get a, okay, I will show the pop-up where we can mention there is a type which is a cube or dimension that will show in a few minutes. Before that, I will explain this requirement. So basically we have our data model, right? Sales order, sales order items, material and material description. This is the data model which we are working on attribute to analytical view. The same data model we'll take. Okay. So on the left side, you can see there are different options available here. Basically, if you go in attribute view, we'll see only one aggregated node. When I go to attribute view, we'll see only one data foundation node. Okay. Here we can have a different nodes here. Okay, where this is how calculation view has been improved. So we can join, we can apply projection, we can do aggregation, we can do ranking, and join here. So my requirement is like, so forget about this right hand side part, just focus on this part. Initially, I would like from bottom to top approach, okay, bottom up approach. Okay. First, we need to mention what are the fields that you would like to say from one table and the another table. Okay. We need to join this. For joining, we should have a node. Okay. For this node, we have to link this node. So whenever you want another table, you can add the table here, which is projection view. If you want to join this table also to this join, because we're doing a join again, we should have another join node. Okay, this is how we can create. We have created this set and also this set. Finally, we have unioning all the result set from the left hand and the right side, and we'll show them in the final results. This is our requirement. Okay, let me create this calculator view. Okay. So as usual, I'll right click on my package, say new. This is calculation view. I have to mention the calculation view. So I will get a name for my calculation view, my sales calculation view. I'll give this name, the package, view type, subtype will leave it as it is. So this is where it will make the difference between attribute view and analytical view. Not here data category. So calculation, if you can see, it is a type which is having SQL script and also graphical editor. Okay. So calculation view can be a graphical view. Whatever we have done is right now is through graphical only we have done, right? We can also have a code associated to that particular calculation view. That also we'll see in the comment section. Okay, so I'll select this graphical view. Okay, so I will mention data category. Okay, here it makes the difference. So if you specify dimension, okay, so dimension is like if you set a data category as dimension, the default node is projection. Projection where we see the only projection which is happen only in attribute view, right? There we'll add only required columns. We'll join multiple tables. So dimension is nothing but data carry with dimension is nothing but an attribute view. So whenever somebody you just want to show on a descriptive analysis purpose, so we'll create a dimension only. When there is too much things involved for big calculations, we'll go for cube. So when I change it to cube, if you set this to cube, the default node is an aggregation, which you have seen analytical view. When you create analytical view, we'll get aggregation node as well. Okay, so we'll also have a star join and all these things. Okay, what I will do, I will just make this as a cube. Okay, I'll click on finish. Okay, this is the default node which I have got here. So on the right left hand side you can see the different nodes that are available for me I can use. So basically whatever we have done in attribute view and analytical view, we'll just combine those things and we'll show it here. But it will be a very clear separation for projections and joins and everything. Okay, so that it will be easily readable, and also while designing it will be it will give a clear idea on how to join different tables. So my first thing I have to do is, so I have to apply projection. The projection is nothing but the columns which you want to display in the particular view. Okay, from the table you have to select particular columns. This is nothing but a projection. So my from sales order I'll take, from sales items also I will take. Okay, these are the two projections I would like to perform. So this is my projection. Let's come projection plus icon, so I can add the background table to it. Sales orders. It's loading. Takes a little time to go through all the database artifacts. Let me type it again. Sales orders. Searching. Let me cancel this. So I will add it again. Add object. Says sales order. Just very slow. Let me save this. Having problem with the Eclipse itself. Give me a moment. Let me restart this. I'll save up to here. restarting Eclipse. Let me check if my tables are active or not. So my tables, I'll go to my data model and I will activate this. Maybe it is affecting, just to make sure. So this, and I'll activate this. This is active. I'll go back to my view. My sales calculation view. So this is my projection. Here I would like to add my columns here. Hopefully it will get now. Sales. Come on. If it doesn't work, we cannot add the object actually here. It's really strange. Let's try here. Here I'm able to get. Let me check here. Yes, finally. Okay. This is my table which I would like to add to this projection. Okay, I will select this sales orders. Okay, on the right hand side, my node will appear here with the list of columns which are there in this particular column, particular table, which is nothing but sales order. So I can select whatever the fields that I would like to be as part of output manually, or also I can just right click here and I can just specify add all to output so that every column will be directly added here. So I have selected one, these are the columns which I have selected from the table. So I would like to add another table also. Okay, so this will be my ordered items table. So where I'll say items. So basically this is what are the columns you would like to fetch from different tables. So we are specifying this here. Okay, this is my table, sales items. Click here. This example is going to be a little tedious. Please try to pay attention. This is really important. Okay, I will right click here. What I will do, I will try to add all to output here. Add to output. Sales order is already selected here, so I don't want to display that here. I will just remove it. Okay. Okay. So now my projection has been created. So initial step is to select whatever the fields you want from the different tables. Okay. Now we need to combine these two tables. We cannot just do like this to combining these two, right? So what we have to do is, what we want to do, join. So for that, calculation view has given us a node called join, where we can join our tables. Okay. So how do we join? Simple. So whatever the output link. So if you see this node, this is nothing but a input link, and this is but an output link. Okay. Similarly, it applies for everyone. So whatever it going out is an output. It is whatever we can pass. It is an input link. So my output link should be linked to the input link of join. Okay. So it will be added to the join projection. Join here. So similarly, I can do this also. I will just simply select this, and I will do like this. Okay. My join has been established for this join node. So these are two columns. So what I can do is, so I can simply specify. So what are the columns you want to add to this join? Here also we need to add. So I'll specify this, remove this, and here also I would like to add from this projection. These are the columns I would like to see in the join. So I'll mention them. So right now what we need to do is, we have to, since we should have a common field between these two, I think we need to add also this to this input from a right hand side table, which is nothing but sales order items. Okay. Once I have added these two to joins, I just need to join these two here like this. Okay, my join has been established. So you can also specify inner join or referential or whatever. So by double clicking here, as I shown yesterday. Okay, so this is how you can specify inner join and also the cardinality as usual, as we did yesterday. Okay, so my join has been established here. Assume that I would like to add one more table here. Okay, so we have a sales order and items. I would like to link this material to a different table called material description, so that I'll get also material description here. So what I will do is, I will take another projection because I'm adding another table here. Okay, for this projection I will add my material description table. Okay, material. Okay, this is my material description table which we have created as .http table. Okay, so I think this is from different table. So let me remove this. This is not the table we want. I will right click. How will we remove? Right click, remove that particular table. It will go. So I'll select this again. Say material. This is my table. HANA sales settings. Material description. This is not the one. Let me check. Yes, this is the one. So I would like to add all this to my output. I'll do that. So with this table, two tables, I need to combine this data from the material table, description table. So you can see join will accept only two input links. Okay, it will not accept more than that. So let me try that if it is true or not. So I cannot link like this. Okay, so it will accept only two projections. So what you need to do is, since it is not allowing us, so we need to join this to a different join. Okay, so we'll have a node called another join. I'll keep it here. Okay, what I will do is, since my this table and these two join result, this result and this result should be joined, so I have created another join. So these two results I have to link to here. So on top of this two table result and the another table material description will join this. This is how my join will be established. So I can select all the fields from my first join. The table which I would like to join, this is the one. I can select all the output in this join top here. Okay. Similarly, since we have joined, there should be a join link established. So what I will do, I'll select my material, which is a common field, and I will link to this. So my join has been established. Let me save this. Okay. Hope you guys clear here. Any doubts? So I'll repeat again. The reason why we haven't created direct link this to another join, because it accepts only two nodes. So for that purpose, we have another join. For this join results, I would like to add one more table, this one. So this result and my table has been linked together with a different join node. Okay, where I have established the connection here. Okay, my part is done. Now what I will do is, since I have done this, so I have to connect to this aggregation node. So where my all the data will be coming here, and I can show it in the uh, output. Okay. So my join, so this join contains all the results in set of these three tables. Okay, I'll link to this table. So I'll go to this aggregation. So I would like to see all the fields. I'll say add to all output. I'll save. Okay. If you want to arrange this in a right manner, so simply right click here, so auto layout. This option will arrange the nodes in a readable format. Okay. So this is my exact join which I have established. Okay. This is first join and the projection two joins here. So now I will activate this. We'll see how the resultant set will be done. So this is nothing but my analytical view which I have created previous. Where analytical view is a cumbersome of all the information where we do not see a detailed information. But whereas a calculation view, we have different views for each operation. So we can see what is happening at the each level. So I will activate this. So I think it's successfully activated. Now we will see the result, how it looks. This is my raw data, so which is a combination of all the columns which I have done in the calculation view. Okay, so similarly I can do my analysis on the net price for each material, how many sales has been done. I can do like this. For this material 002, 69,000 sale has been done. For this material, this much amount has been done. So here the aggregation is actually happening when you specify everything at the aggregated node. So okay, so I would like to see also net price for each material. I can add that. Okay, this is the net price for material 002. This is the net price, which is $1,000, and like this we can analyze the data. Okay, so you can also go for pie charts, so where it will show the different levels. Okay, I remove this amount. So for each sales order, so 002 sales order, I have done 69,000 rupees or dollars, whatever it is. Okay, now we are good with the my sales calculation view. Okay, what is the next step we have to do? So to demonstrate union also, here only I will demonstrate it. So very simple, just pay little attention, it will be a quick thing. So I have done this, right? So let's assume this is my sales order item, right, on the left hand side. So I will apply some filter here. I will apply some filter on condition on this left hand side. Okay, what I will do, it will be a very easy thing. So I'll create a filter on this sold to. Okay, okay, sold to. right click, apply filter for this solder 2. So I would like to do something. So here we have sold to different value size. I have sold to SAP also. So I have applied this filter on my sold to whom I have sold. So this entire resultant set which is on my here is all dependent on the solder to. So this resultant set will always have the sales order which has been sold to the particular customer which I mentioned in the apply filter condition. Okay, what is the filter that I have given on this one? So right click filter. If you want to check the filter, edit filter, you can see this is my SAP to SAP I have given. So this result will have only the resultant related to SAP. I'll activate this. Activate. Let me close all this. Okay, activated successfully. So I would like to check the data at the join level so that I will see if this is been working fine or not. So this is individually I'm testing here. Okay, I'll click on right click on data preview. Let me check if my filter has been applied here or not. See, sold to I am getting only the resultant which are been sold to particular this company SAP. So my filter has been applied. Okay, this is how we'll apply filter. So let me check the entire result here. If I click on data preview, so these are the resultant set which I got finally based on this. So this is one resultant set with SAP. Okay. Now what I will do is I will create another resultant set just to demonstrate union. What I will do is simply make a copy of this projection on the right side with specific customer. So these two customer data should be uh, integrated together using union node. So this is a copy thing. I will copy this node and paste it here. So I'll do the same for my left hand side nodes. I'll paste it here. So this join also I'll copy, paste it here. So we need to remove this because those are not at all related to us now. So I can remove. So once I copy these two nodes, what I have to do is I have to link to this. Okay. Since there is another table we would like to add here also, I will copy. So left, whatever it is left hand side, I'm copying everything. Nothing complex here. Okay. So this has to be joined together with another node. This I will copy this node and I will paste it here. Okay. I'll remove these links. So now what I will do is since I have joined this, so I have joined this and this as it is. So this resultant set and this resultant set. So we have to also make sure that everything has been selected. Okay. So here all the fields has been selected. Here I need to make sure that what are the fields which are required. Add all to output. So only this one. So I have also another node here because in this join, make sure all the fields are there. Item. I need to also establish the join between how we have done here, the same story. I select the sales order. I will join this. Okay, my join link has been established here. So for this table, for this one also, for this join also I have to do the same thing. I'll select all the data add all to output. I have to join this to my copy of join. So I have to establish the link how I have done here at this level. Same story. This is my material. This is the join. I'll save it. Okay. So this is clear now. Send it out so far. Okay. So since I have copied this from here, so I would like to apply another filter on this. I will remove the filter which is already existing on the left hand side table. I will remove this filter. So my resultant set is first resultant set having only SAP who has been sold to. Okay. So my resultant set, now this result should have only customers which are sold to different customer now. So I'll apply the filter. I'll say equal to what are the values I would like to apply. Now I would like to see only the one which has been sold to Oracle here. So I will select this. Okay. Click on OK. So my filter has been established successfully. Let me activate this. Okay, filter is there. So finally my resultant set is on the left side having as customer, sales made to customer SAP. On the right hand side, sales made to customer Oracle. Let me check the data preview. I'm holding copy agent to line 1, invalid name. Okay. So for that I'm either asking for to me join to separately. Okay. Let me check here if I'm getting the results. Since I have not activated, maybe it's causing problem. Yes. Okay. Now what I will do is let me cross check everything is cool. So I have added this node and applied filter on sold to as usual. On the right, this is my right hand side table, and I have joined these two tables here, combining them. So I have added another table which contains material description. Since we cannot join more than two nodes, we have to add another join for this resultant into this resultant set. I have added here. All good. Now what I have to do is let me remove, since this row resultant set we have to merge together. So let me remove this one. So we should have another node called union. So when do we use union? So in order to combine two resultant set, we have to use union. So for this union, I will give my link to from on the right hand side and the left hand side link to this union. Okay, and this. Okay, this is how I have joined. Union the resultant sets of join 1 and in join 2. So what I have to do is, so finally my output should go to an aggregation mode so that I can analyze better. So let me rearrange this. I'll click auto layout option here. You can also do on right click here on auto layout. You have an icon at the bottom also. This is my final node appearance. You can see whatever the join result which I have done here, they will appear here on this. So if you select this union, this is the view you will get on the right side. Whatever you want at the output level, you can specify them here. So simply drag and drop here like this. So this will be a target entity. So this will be the resultant set that we will be seeing. Okay. If you do not want to do it manually, okay, like this, you can simply click here auto map by name. So whatever the common names that I have there will be mapped together from these two joins. Okay, I'll simply specify auto map by name. So all will be added to my so duplicate columns will be eliminated here. This is the final result I will get. So let me save this. Let me activate. So one more thing we forgot. So here we haven't specified the required columns. Here also we need to specify what are the columns you want. Add now to output here. Okay, I'll save this. If I go to semantics, if you can see here, the mapping for at type is automatically done. Like if it is a attribute type or a measure view. So based on the column or the data type, the mapping will automatically done at the aggregation level for the semantics level. Okay, you can see if there is a number or it is a measure, it has taken it as a measure. If it is a non measure a number value, it has taken it as an attribute. Okay, you can also view the properties. These are all same. Okay. So this is my column view which has been generated during runtime. I'll save this. Activate. Let me check if any errors. Okay, activated successfully. Before that, let me check this join because we have applied filter on Oracle. Let me check if this is working or not. This is actually material that I have selected. Let me go here and I'll check here if I'm getting only the sales order related to Oracle. If this filter is working or not. Yes. Okay. You see, these are all the two resultant set. We have 5 rows in one set and we have 1 row in another set related to Oracle. So these things should to be combined. So let's check how the resultant set looks. What you need to do is data preview. I'll go here, raw data. So this 5 plus this one row, total 6 rows, two different set of rows that we have combined here. So we have got sold to value also here. It was only related to SAP and Oracle here. If I go to analysis, we can do as usual. If you want to create it by particular person. So these are the sales made by John. And this is the sales made by Raju up to 135,000. And this one made by system. Okay. This is how you can analyze the data and you can combine the data here. So any doubts here till now? And one thing I would like to mention here is while doing it looks so simple. As soon as we start doing, we'll come up with so many mistakes. It is something you require a lot of practice for especially calculation view and for this example. So in this example, I have demonstrated everything about union, aggregation, projection, join. So all the topics have been discussed. Only we are left with rank. This I will show in a couple of minutes. So before I close this session, we'll take 10 minutes break. We'll start with very simple examples for rank and also we'll see calculation view with table function. Any questions before we wind up for 10 minutes?
On Nahendra, I like to ask one thing. Actually, here you have created your own table and columns. But
Yeah.
what is the use of some module-specific tables like Mara table, VBAK? Why in companies they are also specifying that? Um, who will create those tables? will the developer be creating the columns inside those table names? I don't
Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
got your question. So basically in real time, so this is how your studio looks. You'll have your system here. Okay, we have schemas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if I go here in the catalog, a schema is nothing but a set of database artifacts. Nothing but it will contain procedures and everything, each schema. Okay,
Okay.
suppose my customer is already running on ECC system, which is nothing but ABAP system, where they will
Okay.
already have the existing functionality and all the tables will be there. Their system,
Okay.
separate system. What they will do, they'll create another schema here, which is for that, for their system.
Okay.
So for their system, when they create a schema, it will appear here. Suppose I have an ABAP system. Usually for all the ABAP system or ECC systems, they'll have SAP ABAP 1 user. So you will see a schema called SAP ABAP 1. If you go
Okay.
inside that, all the tables which are on the system will appear here. So whatever you mention Mara tables, right? They will all come
Yeah.
in this particular schema. You can directly
Okay.
work on them. You don't have to create anything. So we'll work
Okay.
on
Fine.
existing tables. Since I don't have this EC system connected, I have created my own data model.
Okay. Creating the table is not part of our HANA developer job, right?
If we are working with ABAP systems, not our job. But if it's
Okay.
clearly SAP HANA consultant, ABAP, SAP developer, HANA developer, there
Okay.
will be already existing tables. You may also have to create tables like this using HTTP.
Okay. But only if the client is specifying so we can create, not by our own, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we should not create tables without the concern or without getting the acceptance from the client.
Yeah. According to the requirement, we'll create. So
Okay.
yeah, you will have
Okay,
the
fine.
privileges and everything you can create. So based on
Okay.
that, you can use them in your views and everywhere you want like this.
Okay, fine,
That's
fine.
why I've shown from scratch here. I've created my own.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Thank you.
Munish, are we good? Munish?
Yeah, one question, Nagendra. How do we move those objects like catalog objects across the system? I understand we can move the content object using the delivery unit. So if
Mm-hmm.
we have to move something like procedures, functions,
Mm-hmm.
and the things which we have developed under our schema, probably this big schema. How do we move
Mm-hmm.
that across client?
So these things are there, right? Suppose this is my package. Okay. So if I would like to move this to my another system, you're asking, right? These untyped database
Yep.
artifacts.
Yes.
This is called a delivery. So usually in real time, right? Most of the cases they will have a system called Solomon. Okay, where they will actually process these TRs. So in ABAP system we have TRs, right? Transports.
Mm.
So similar concept will be there in the Solomon systems. They'll move all those whatever the packages that we have created, right? They'll connect to their system. It will actually cost extra for the client. They have to maintain the system. They'll move this object as a transport. They'll create a transport on top of these packages who are responsible for the transport management. Okay.
Mm.
So we'll tell them these are the packages that I would like to move and we'll give them their names. This is one way. Another way is, as I said earlier, we'll have a delivery unit. Okay. How do you want to import, right? So you can go here. Let me go here. So while creating actually itself, it will ask for a delivery unit once the delivery unit is configured, right? So in that delivery unit, we'll be pushing everything. Let me check import and export projects, right? Not this option. There will be only export or import option. Let me open. Somewhere it will be there. Yes, here. So here, once we created a delivery unit, it will be a file which will contain all the package information. that will be available in your system. You see here, import delivery unit. Okay, this will delivery unit will have all the information. Then you can select the path and you can click this and move your objects. If you want to move only specific object, okay, this is a developer mode you can go for. Okay, specific object, I can specify the developer mode, and you can specify the system. Next, it will ask for which object you would like to download, or location where you'd like to store. This is for individual object. Okay, so right now I don't have this privileges to do all those things. Okay, content folder and all. So basically the thing is, delivery unit for combining all the packages if you want to move from one system to another system. This is developer mode is to individual objects from one client location to another client location.
Okay, but this will have the data like tables and views
Yes.
and the whatever the modeling what we have done. What about the procedures and functions?
Yeah, procedures and functions also we can create here. I will show that in the next example. So basically
Okay, we
in
can do
repository
that from
also,
here. Okay.
yeah, we can create here new others procedure, database procedure I can create here. Similarly,
Mhm.
table function. Table function also I can create here. It will be my package as part of my package. I will create
Okay.
one table function now for our example that I will show in.
Mhm.
So next session will be a quick one. We'll take 10
Mhm.
minutes break. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Sir.
Yeah, cool. We'll meet right now 11:35. 11:45 we'll meet.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So welcome back to another session. So in the previous session, we have discussed about calculated columns, restricted columns, input parameters, and how we can use projection, union, and join in a calculation view, right? So apart from this, so we'll move to next topic in this session, calculation view with table function and rank node. We'll see a small example on rank node also. So first I will start with rank node, so there will be a quick one. So what exactly a rank node, right? So we have seen one example, right? So where we have calculated the maximum sales done by a particular salesman or particular person, and then we have done a procedure where, sorry, we have done an exercise where we can get a second highest, third highest, whatever the number, right? So similar to thing we can do, but along with that we can give a specific rank to for each individual here. So let me show how it works. Let me create another calculation view with only rank node. All right, like new calculation view. My rank cal view. Okay, make it as a cube one. So we can choose if you want only dimension. It will have only projection. I will choose it as a dimension. Finish. Okay, this is my projection here. So first thing I would like to do is for this projection, as usual, first we'll add the sales order details. From that sales order details, we would like to rank each person based on the sales that I have made. Okay, rank is nothing but positions, like who is on the top, second one, third one, and all. Okay, so I'll show a very simple example. The exercise which I will give you will be a little complex, so right now I'll just give you the basics how we can do. So as usual, we'll add the table by clicking on plus icon. So I'll take my table. This is my table, sales orders. So I'll select everything, right click, add all to output. Okay, so I can see what are the selected columns on the right side. So let me activate this. Let me close the other tabs. I'll say data preview. Let me check if you are getting the records as expected. Okay, these are all my sales. So for Shyam and Raju and John in the system, assume that for system, I just want to pick only top two sales he has done. For Raju also, I just want to pick top two sales that he has done. For system, top two. Okay, I can maintain the rank for them. Okay, so if I specify like this, how do I add the ranking here? So as it is simple, you just drag and drop the rank node by focusing on the link. Okay, so you just need to drop the rank node here. Node cannot be inserted between semantics and default node. Okay. Oh, okay. Since I have chosen this as a cube, it is not allowing me. So let me go back to the previous one. Okay, let me close this. Uh, Let me create another one, very simple one. Rank cal view dimension will have only projection. Finish. Let me try this way. Okay. Will I be able to drop? Node cannot be inserted between the semantics and the default node. I'm doing something wrong here. Give me a second. Just a second. Where is the problem? Close all this. So what is the one that I have created? My rank calculation view, which is of type. Is it a cube or let me delete this. Let me start from the beginning. We'll remove whatever the existing ones. Select this calculation view, my rank view. So it is a graphical one which I'm going to create, and subtype standard. There should be an option there. I'm checking for that. Yeah. Okay. My rank. This is a graphical one. So data category should be a cube actually. Because why cube? Because we are dealing with numbers in our column. I forgot that. So we have a number columns where we, for analysis, we'll use them. Select cube and click on finish. Okay. I will add my projection here. I'll add my table, sales orders. Add all to output. Okay. This is my one. So I need to link this to aggregation node. Okay. Previously I forgot to do as a cube view. That's where we got error. So I will activate this. Basically it's saying we have not added anything here, reporting level. So I'll have to select here also, add all to output. So my view is ready. Team activate, completed successfully. I'll click on data preview. So what is my actual requirement? I just want to pick up the actual sales done by, suppose system has done 3 sales. I would like to fetch only the top 2 for each salesperson. Okay, only top 2 for each salesperson, so that I will give ranking to each of them. So how do I do that? So we just need to drag this rank node to here. You ask, do you want to insert the node between projection and aggregation? Yes, I'll specify that. So let me rearrange them. Okay. So if you can see, there is one more pen appeared on the bottom of this node. You can see. So these are all the settings related to rank node. So how do you want to fetch? If you want to fetch it by top 10, right, or bottom 10. So I'll want to fetch top 10, which will be in a descending order, so that I can pick from top first 2 sales, right? I have to mention how my what is the threshold you would like to specify. Threshold is nothing but just I have mentioned in our requirement. Do you want top 2, top 3, top 4? So I would like to fetch only top 2. So in the threshold, I have to mention this one. Okay, I'll mention as a 2. So order by which column you would like to fetch. So this is like a simple query that we have written long back, where we first sort the data and we'll specify the group by column, right? So initially I have to specify the order. So in which order I would like to get this. So I'll specify by uh, order by, I will give it as a net amount. Okay. So partition column. Partition by column is nothing but a group by, for which group, for which column you would like to do this one. Okay. So I'll make this as, so since we are doing for the salesman, I'll select created by salesman. Okay. This will add up here. Okay. This is nothing but a very simple query. So let me show for your understanding. What I am doing is selecting, okay, the data from that table. order by which column? Order by net amount in which situation it is descending. Okay, and group by what is the partition column here? Create. So this is actually it. This is the kind of query it will generate during the runtime. So no need to worry. This is how you are specifying. So rank is something we'll mention in limit or something or the right limit and offset. So so this is how we are doing here also. Okay. So we have done this. Now let me save this. I'll activate. So everything looks fine. This is my resultant set before. Let me execute this now. As you can see here, I have got only top 2 sales which are done by this system, and Raju has done these many sales in this order. So top 1, top 2 sale, and John has made only one, so only one came here. Usually system has 3 sales which has done 1, 2, 3. It has picked up only the top 2. Okay. So we haven't seen the rank column here. So you can also specify the rank column here. So if you want to show that, so how do you specify? So if you go down here, let me expand this more. So there is another option called generate rank column also. So you can see the rank column here. So I'll save this, activate. Okay. Now let me execute if I'll get the rank column. It not appeared here. So why? The reason is, even though we have added rank column here, so we have to select that column here. So that's why unless we do not select, it will not appear here. So I'll select add all to output. So my rank column also will appear. So I'll save it and I'll activate this. Completed successfully. Let me check the data preview. Go to raw data. This is not my one. That is a previous table, I guess. So let me execute from this. Okay, and there are a lot of columns which have been added here. That's the reason. But anyway, these are duplicate columns are coming here. So let me eliminate them because it is taken from both rank column and my table. Okay, these are all the duplicates are coming. Let me select them, delete. Okay, now save, activate. This is my before adding a rank column, and I will click here. Now I will be able to see the rank. Okay, see how the rank column looks. So for this is the top sale he has done. It has named as a 1, and this is the second highest it has done by him. This is the for another salesman, which is 1 and 2. This is for John, who has made only one sale. This is how rank column can be generated. Okay, this is good. So we have generating top two for each by sale. What if there is a situation they would like to fetch only the specific ones? Okay, sorry. So my requirement is now, so I want to fetch the top one candidates which has made by all the sales, right? So here if I see I will have to fetch this guy and this guy, the top one sale that I have made by them. So I have to fetch 90,000, 23,000, and John here. So how do I do that? So for that, let me try that example. Okay, for this projection, let me delete this. I will add this projection to this. Okay, I'll combine this. Let me rearrange. Let me select everything. Okay, so in this projection, now I have the resultant set of these. Okay, so how can I select only specific one? This case, I can add filter, right, for a projection. So I can specify a filter for this or an input parameter. So if I want to specify only um, get the specific rank column, I can click on here, apply filter. I will get only specific one. So I need only the top sales made by them. Okay. I will specify the value here. Okay, it is 1. I'll click on 1. So because I want only the top sale done by each person. Okay, save and activate. Because here again we have changed the column, so we have to also select all the output because we have changed the node link here. So hope we do not have the columns here and activate. Let me check here if I get the only top sale done by each person. Yes, so this is the top sale done by each one. This is the amount they have done for each sale out of among all the sales that they have done. If you see here, so this is the one top one. He has picked 23,000 for Raju. He has made two sales 9045. He has picked only 90,000 from him because this guy has sold only one. It has already automatically came here. So in our exercise, this is fine. Since we have this, we have to allow the user to input to which rank you want to fetch. There is will be your exercise. So we have seen input parameters, right? We have to apply input parameters, and before that we need to sort the order in a different manner. Okay, that will be your exercise. Okay, so hope we are good with the rank node. Okay, any questions? Cool. So this is about rank column. The final one is the calculation view with the table function. This is one of the questions asked by many people, like can we use the table functions in a calculation view? Why do you go for calculation view with the table function? Because let's assume there is a scenario, I would like to generate a report. So in that report, there is a specific logic which is already available in my system, which has done by some other developer. Okay, so I thought that then maybe that logic will be useful for me during my calculation view design time. Okay, so that I can make use of that particular table function to integrate those results into my calculation view. Okay, that way the calculation view will come into picture where we can reuse the already existing logic. Or this is one case, if you think whenever you are creating a calculation view, if you think whatever the complex calculation that you are applying on these things, right? We have calculated columns and restricted columns. If you think those you cannot achieve such kind of a big complex logic through such scenario through with that option, you can go for a table function, where inside the table function you can write your SQL script and you can do complex calculations, and you can make use of that table function in your calculation view. Okay, so for our example I will show a simple example, and as part of exercise I will give you one scenario to make use of table function. Okay, so now I'll create a table function. So before that there should be a table function available. So what is our requirement? So there is a table function which should be consumed by calculation view. Okay, and this calculation view, when consumed by user, will get the result. Okay, this is how the scenario works. This calculation view will be consumed by the user, and the resultant he will get. So in case if the user wants to provide some inputs, we can have a table function as an input parameter. So in this case, you can see this is one scenario. There is no input parameters from table function. So user will provide inputs. Okay, these inputs will be go to calculation view, and this calculation will pass these input parameters to inputs to our table function. Okay, and this resultant will be go to result will be sent back. This is how two scenarios. If there are no input parameters are there, so simply table function will be calculated by, consumed by calculation view, and the resultant will go. If there are inputs which are required from the user, so user will provide the inputs, calculation will take them, it will pass inputs to the table function, my table function will give the result back. So this is my scenario. So first I need to create my table function. Okay, so here we'll create a table function. Normally if you want to keep them in a separate package we can keep, so I don't want to go that far, so I'll just create a table function, right click, say new, go to others, type table function. Okay, this is the table function which we create. Similarly you can also create procedure. So whatever the logic that we have written in our previous classes, same thing we can written here. There is nothing to change. But when you create these objects in a repository object, so we can move from different systems, and also you can see a version of each changes that we have done. Version management I can show you, for it will be 5 minutes at the end of this class. In above we have a concept called a version management, which will contain the changes done by previous changes done to that object, at what time they have made the changes for each state. So that also we'll see. Okay, right now I'll create a table function. Okay, this is a table function, so I'll specify my table FC, click on finish. Okay, this is how my syntax looks like. Automatically it will generate a syntax. Okay, you can specify the logic inside this procedure. If you see what is the extension of this my table function, which is .hdb table function. If it is a procedure, it will be .hdb procedure. So these naming what you call file extensions are important. So we have .hdb .hdb table. So similarly, we have this extension for procedure and table functions also. Inside this, we can write our logic. Okay. Right now, so what I will do is I will just simply do a join on sales order and sales item tables. So this result I would like to push to my calculation view. Okay. Select. Before that, let me check what are the columns are there. So this is my model sales order. I have SID. S underscore ID, CR underscore by, and CR underscore by, and a date also I would like to take date. You can mention like this. These are the column names so that we can avoid if there are any key fields, it will show some error. Okay, this is my table. These are all my columns. I would like to fetch from another different table, which is item table. I will just fetch item and material and net price. Then I will also take my net amount here. Okay, here item, what is the name, which is S underscore item, and net price. It is a column name, which is net price. Okay, inner join. So inner join. So first I have to specify from the source table, which is what is my table name. So how I can access this table? So I need to specify the package name. So to answer your doubt in the previous class, so this is how I will specify my package name, and my context here. This is my context, which is material. It is called material data. Material data. Since so till packages here we specify with the dot dot dot. So when you want to object specifically access particular object in that particular package, you have to mention like this, double quotes. So material data, and what is the table name, which is sales orders. Okay, so if this will work, I will give an alias name here, so as A, so that I can use here like this. Inner join. What is another one? Sales items. Is it the name? Yes, sales items.
Nagendra, we don't have to specify the schema here.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking. Let me show that if it works or not. I would like to show it where. So right now we don't have any where condition. So I'll specify this. B on. We have to specify the common fields s underscore id equal to b dot s underscore id. So these are two columns. So I'll save this. Let me check if we get any errors. I'll do the activation. I can do from here also, or else I can also right click here. Okay, so dependent object not found, SQL script system return tail die symbol not found. So one more thing that we have missed is, it's good that we are sending the data back. So table type which always expects a return table, right? So we haven't specified that. So this is where you have to mention what are the columns that you are sending back. Okay, I will mention as table. You can simply just specify the column name and what are the tables that you want to. This is a table, right? What is the column name, which is weblan, which is varchar. It should be compatible. That's what I'm checking, if I'm sending the right, mentioning the right column or not. So weblan, which is string 10. So I can mention this is a sales ID, which will be varchar 10. Okay, you can also mention the remaining columns. Let me check if it is giving us. Okay, so I will, what are the remaining columns, which is CRY, or let me give it in double quotes, CRY. What is the created by column, which is ER name. What is the, which is string 30, which is nothing but varchar 30 in SQL data types. There we have to declare EDM types, right? So next thing is date, which is as usual as date. Next we have net amount. Next we have also sales. Have to specify the data type, and what else, s underscore item, which is of type string 3, which will be varchar 3. 3. Let me arrange them here. Varchar 3, and another field, net price, which is also an integer. Okay, now let me save this and let's see if we get any errors. Do a syntax check. This is a syntax check we can do. Also we can do control F2. Now let me activate this. Now, okay, so my column name is invalid. It's ID. No create catalog invalid column name is underscore ID. What have we missed? Do I have to give it in a capital letters? Let me check. Okay, this is not the problem. So I will mention the schema also in front of this. I am expecting dot q code control F2 and control F3. This is the reason, I guess. Activate. Invalid column name at 20. So you guys find anything invalid column name a dot sit. Sales order as sid. Let me make the format right. Modeling tables, material data, sales item. Is this in the right format? Yes, we are in the same format.
Again, do we need to specify return?
Yes. Usually not required because it's already returning. Yeah, maybe that's the reason. Let me execute again. Could not find executive invalid column name. Column 10. Okay. Items also we have the same ID. I don't know what's wrong. Okay. Let me execute on a simple table if it gives the same error or not. So for our example purpose, let's take our we'll take our payroll data. It's a syntax, everything is fine, right? Looks, I don't know what is. Let me know if you guys find anything. From payroll, I will try to access this. Okay, let me check. Keep this in a comment. Select. I'll give a very simple. I will select name and department number. Just for example, we'll see. Select name and department from payroll. So I need to specify those things here. Returns table. What I will do is I will comment this. Returns table. The columns I have taken name and department number. Check what are the data types which you have specified for that, and accordingly I will declare here so that will not mess up. So name is 30 and department number is 30. So we'll simply take this as varchar 30, or in varchar is also fine, and department and varchar. Let me execute this. Let me activate. Let's see if it gives now any error. Okay, returns. Activate. My table function has been successfully activated. I can see here. This is the status. Now what I will do is I would like to consume this view on this. I will get back to you on this. Sure. What is the issue? Today itself I will get back because we don't have much time. Now I will consume this procedure in my view. So this is my procedure which is in system view. This is my system. This is my view. Okay. Now I will go to my modeling view, so I'll create a new calculation view. This is my view. I'll create a new calculation view. I'll go to calculation view. Since it is having only two columns which are only descriptive, using table function view. Okay, I'll make it as a dimension because we're not displaying any value related information. Finish. Okay, so I would like to add my table function here. So simply add objects here. What is my table function name? My table FC. So we have to select this repository object, which is my table FC. I'll click this. So it will show whatever the return values which is giving here. So we'll add all to output. Okay, this is as simple as that. So we are simply consuming data or the whatever the logic inside this table function, we are consuming it here. So I'll click on. I'll activate this. Now I'll click on data preview. Raw data. So I consume my table function here. Okay. So what if I would like to mention what do you call some input parameters here? Okay. Since we have already got these details, I would like to enter the employee ID. Based on that employee, I would like to fetch the remaining details. So I can do that also. So what I will do is I have to mention the parameter name. So employee ID. What is the type? Which is integer. So I'll specify it as an integer. Okay. Now I'll save it and I'll again activate this. Since we have given an input, right? So we have to add that in a where condition also, where empid equal to my empid, which I am providing as an input here. Both are having EMP ID. Okay, this is just an ID. So I will give it as ID here. So I'll save this and I'll activate this. Okay, activated successfully. Now I'll go to my view. So right now I do not have any input parameters here, so I have to take that one also. So what I will do is, see, I have not added this ID column to the view. Let's try without adding this if it gives any error. First of all, we need to create input parameters, right? So I'll create an input parameters, and this input parameter will be mapped to my what do you call, table function. Okay, so I'll select the data type, I'll give the name, click on OK. So this should be mapped to my input parameters. So let me go right click, manage mapping. Okay, proceed function parameters. So this is not yet been established. Since it does not, we have not added this one, we have to activate this again. We'll add the ID also here. ID integer. It's unable to map it. So with the ID, and I will activate this. We'll also need to fetch ID here so that it will keep a condition on it. I'll go back to my view. Let's save. Let me add that object again because we have made some changes to that. Activate my table. Table FC. We'll select everything. Add auto output. Okay. We remove this. Create a new input parameter. EID, which is integer. Don't have to select anything which is so here I need to select parameter type because normal parameters are all direct type. So when you want to derive from a function or a procedure, you have to make sure that you have selected the parameter type from the procedure or scalar function. Okay, give it like this. So I have to mention what is my procedure name here, my table. What I have selected, so this is for input parameter values. So basically this is like whenever user trying to give, usually we'll have F4 helps and all that, right? So if you specify derive from a table, so on click of F4, from this table that particular column will be returned. This is actually for a repair F4 help values. This is also derived from scalar function or procedure. If you specify any procedure which is written in a specific values, that also we can specify. So this will be a direct input, okay, which is of. Now I'll take a direct input. So I'll make this as mandatory. Click OK. Just a second, somebody's calling me. Just Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nagendra, I think you are in mute.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, when you are giving the input parameters, right? So we have to click on manage mapping. On the left side, we'll see the function module which has been we have mapped in the calculation view. So this is having an input parameters EMP ID. So my calculation view, the input parameter I have created. So this should be mapped to this one. So I'll simply drag and drop and I will do like this. So my mapping will be established. So whatever the input I have give, it will be passed to my FM. I'll click OK. Save this. Team activate. So right now we have employee ID is this. I'll give 3. I'll get Williams. Let me click on data preview. So it will prompt me for the input, so where I can enter these values. So as I told earlier, since we do not have any F4 help, that we can define in the input parameters by parameter type. Okay, right now I don't have any, so I'll just give the employee ID as 3. Okay, let me check if I get the data. Yes, so this is a result I have got. Okay, so this is about calculation view, how we can consume calculation view, sorry, table function within a calculation view. Okay, with parameters and also with a completely written type. So we can see that, right, we have created different models at specific node. If you want to use also, we can use a table function. So if there is already existing logic or there are some complex logic which we cannot achieve by graphical editor. So this is it for SAP HANA modeling. We have discussed every part of SAP HANA modeling with examples, practical examples and theory also. Okay. Apart from this, we don't have anything. We have seen each node here in this more what you call calculation view. And we have also seen practical examples on it. So any doubts so far in SAP modeling? Any so far for today's session also? I will wind up.
Not yet, Nagendra. Probably after doing some of the practical scenarios, we'll let you know.
Yeah. So I recommend everyone to practice this. I mean, looks simple but takes time. Thank you, everyone. So next week our will be the last week for our course. There we will see about access HANA data. So this will be interesting. So finally, this bonus will be the sample sales order UFA application. So just one thing I would like to clarify: this I would not show how to create the application, but whatever the services we have created here, right? I have assigned one those services to one UFA developer, and he will give me the application. So in that application, I will show you where our XML the service has been called. Okay, just a very simple example with code operations or just a read report. Okay, okay. So I will wind up for today. And, hope you guys on very comfortable with SAP HANA modeling. Any doubts, you can reach out to me anytime. Thank you. Have
All
a
right.
good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.